1991 was the year that Vinod's youthful life was changed. He immigrated to the United States of America and married his beautiful wife, Geeta. With Geeta at his side and music in his bones, Vinod continued to demonstrate his talent on the keyboard at many family functions. His talents did not go unnoticed. With strong support from friends and family, a heart filled with determination, devotion, and love for music, Vinod and his wife took a leap of faith. They formed the Angels Caribbean Band. The band made its debut appearance in June of 1994 at the Richmond Hill High School Auditorium in Queens, New York.
Started a group in New York in 1994 called the Angels Caribbean Band, and as the name indicates, it is to, Caribbean. It was to bring the flavors and the rich culture of the Caribbean to America through music. I would say the style of music I focus falls on the world music. I respect and admire music in its true form, and it's the only common and universal language that is being understood by everyone in the world. And my major influence will be artists such as guys like Yanni, Bob Marley. These are musicians who have made that connection universally.
Vinod Bisram was born to Doreen and the late Mahadeo Joe Bisram on February 19, 1968, in Leonora Village, West Coast Demerara, Guyana. Vinod was somewhat of a musical prodigy in his family. He had a natural talent for music. Every Sunday morning, along with his family, he attended the Shiva Ashram Sangha, the local Hindu temple, for weekly worship. It was in the temple that his talent blossomed. By the time he was 5 years old, he had gained the admiration of the congregation as he played the dholak, the Indian double-sided drum. By age 9, he extended his skill to the harmonium and became the only kid who can choose his instrument on Sunday mornings. While he was still in grade school, he became the youngest member of the Melody Makers Orchestra, leading artists with the rhythm of his fingers on the keyboard. After 5 years with the Melody Makers, he moved to Pete's Caribbean Fusion, another band. Throughout this sojourn, Vinod wowed audience and artists alike with his fluency in multicultural music.
My interest in music, began in the early stage of my childhood. As I can remember, at the age of 7, and I began the process of training, and then professionally started playing music at the age of 14. I was actually born in a home where music was given the utmost priority over any other activity. It all began with my grandma, who was an excellent singer, and also my dad, who was a great singer too as well, a fine composer and a great musician too as well. I have various aunts and uncles and other family members who are singers and musicians too as well, and my brother, who put some interest into music too as well. He's an excellent drummer and also a fine song engineer. So my entire family has been musically inclined and also show a lot of interest into music. There are a number of musicians and arrangers who I admire a lot. To name a few, guys like Bob Marley, Eric Clapton, Ravi Shankar, to name a few of them. There are a lot of different musicians and arrangers in different genres of music. I personally admire music. Anyone who plays music or who puts an interest into music.
The Angels Caribbean Band catapulted from a startup band to a band to be reckoned with. Over the years, they have played for world-renowned artists such as Calypso Rose, Terry Gadraj, Dave Martins, the Yankaran Brothers, the Mighty Sparrow, Chris Garcia, Crazy, Ricky Jai, Rooplal Ji and the late Sundar Popo. Over the years, the band hopscotched across the United States and Canada, thrilling audiences in cities where people of the Caribbean reside. In 2009, the band returned to Guyana in a nationwide tour, and the Guyanese population turned out in thousands, showing their appreciation for the Angels Caribbean Band.
I started playing music back in Guyana, my home country, where at that time my major interest was to gain as much experience in live performance and to focus. At that time, the focus was on cover music, as much cover music as possible. Eventually, my interest became into producing and composing, and which I'm doing presently as professionally. Some of my fondest memory as a musician, there are so much to mention. To mention a few, my first performance at Madison Square Garden. As a musician coming from the Caribbean, you always hear about Madison Square Garden, and eventually you want to get to perform there, and I was given the chance to perform there. Also, we performed at Lincoln Center, NASA Coliseum. These are some of the major venues. As a kid growing up, you heard of artists who performed there before, and you're telling yourself that one day, I'll have to perform there too as well. One of the other performances was when I took the band I started in New York back to Guyana, South America, for a tour of few concerts, and that was some of the fondest memory I could recently remember. The ultimate direction for the Angels Caribbean Band is to compose as much original music as possible, to touch as many hearts as possible through music. Also, to get a chance to do a lot of charity work for various charitable organizations throughout USA and the Caribbean.
The Angels Caribbean Band grew into the Angels Entertainment group of companies, consisting of the band, sound reinforcement, graphics and designing, audio and visual productions, and the Angels record label. Vinod continues to demonstrate his many talents through his company, ranging from his musical talent to his people skills. His latest project finds him working closely with We Media Radio, producing multicultural radio programs while simultaneously producing a TV program called West Indian Music TV. Both productions are broadcast throughout the New York metropolitan area. Vinod's talent has touched the hearts of thousands with his music. Along with his wife Geeta Bisram, they now focus on bringing and keeping the West Indian culture alive within West Indian communities across the globe. To achieve this goal, Vinod has embarked on a new venture to seek young West Indian talent and also to incorporate them in multicultural and interfaith concerts. Vinod lives in New York City, and music is his full-time passion.
A simple advice for youths who are thinking about getting into this art form. One of the first things is to prepare to work hard. It's not an easy task. Also, do music from your heart.